Hey, I'm Daniel Pickett. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Freightways, and I'm here with Chris Lamb, who is the President and CEO of UShip and uship.com. Thanks for joining us to talk about the market today, Chris.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to the conversation, Daniel.
Yeah, so you really came to us after we published an article. Mark Solomon wrote a great article about how it seems like small carriers are really getting squeezed between maybe softer rates on the spot market as well as diesel prices that keep climbing. And what we said in our article is that they really have a limited set of options, and that's knuckle down and try to weather the storm. That's maybe lease onto a big carrier to kind of get that more steady freight, maybe access to a advantageous fuel purchase program. And the other thing is find a new line of business to be in. A lot of carriers don't see any of those as really attractive options. So you came to us and said, wait, there's another option. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen some carriers doing in these unprecedented times.
We have lots of full truckload owner operators that have made the transition, not just during times like these when you have, this perfect storm of macroeconomic things occurring, but made the transition even maybe potentially before they were forced to, and that is to downsize their equipment and downsize kind of the mode that they're used to transporting via. What does this mean? It means getting rid of your big rig and going into sprinter vans, box trucks, or pickups with enclosed trailers. You can cut your expenses and your sunk costs at about a half once you do the equipment transition, and you reduce your exposure as the market is shifting, and you get ahead of kind of the trends we're seeing right now, specifically that are acute in the full truckload markets as spot markets continue to come down because demand is coming down post pandemic, and fuel and operating costs are going through the roof as inflation and
Sure.
fuel continues to pinch the drivers.
How is their experience finding freight through something like UShip going to be different than kind of the experience they're used to today of finding freight via a load board or 18 different apps on your phone that you kind of have to scan and flip to the next one and try to figure out what is my best option here?
Yeah, so you have the ability to grab and go on freight as opposed to hunt and peck for freight. Now, UShip's position in the industry is somewhat unique in that we focus on what we internally refer to as big and bulky transportation and logistics fulfillment. So anything from cars and light trucks to boats, RVs, household goods, furnishings, anything that's larger than parcel, and that isn't full truckload. Our marketplace and our digital freight matching technology is really what powers a lot of that in the industry. For example, last year we did about 200 million in gross shipping volume across our platform. So when you're the odd man out, or woman out in times like these where you're getting squeezed, it does require kind of expanding maybe your preconceived perceptions and notions of what maybe you have done and what you have known, and how maybe you can take some of that skill, expertise, and knowledge and transition effectively. So in this case, um, you know, you may, moving to a Ford Transit van, is it as sexy and as interesting as driving a Class 8 big rig? Maybe not for some people, but I can tell you, what is sexy is taking your expenses from $1.50 a mile on average, which is, what a Class 8 big rig, on average is going to run you conservatively,
Yeah.
and drop that to 75 cents per mile. Sleeping in your own bed, not having to deal with parking, or having more flexibility with how you schedule and when you're on the road and when you're off the road.